Week long, we've been covering topics to help you discover a better you. Today, many people are looking for ways to keep looking as youthful as possible. Everything from nutrition to fitness, and today's topic, cosmetic treatments and surgery. Our friends at the Entertainer and Lifestyles magazine featured this very topic on this month's show, and they aired it right here on Channel 6. They featured Dr. Kevin Calhoun, whose practice FinishBody in La Jolla is one of the premier cosmetic surgery centers in San Diego. Let's take a look.
What is liposuction exactly? Let's start with the elementary part of it.
So liposuction has been around since the 80s. Was introduced by a gynecologist, actually, to remove fat underneath the skin. Now it's much safer, much more accessible procedure for permanent fat removal.
And how would you quell people's fears when they think of liposuction and being under anesthetic and all the things that relate to that?
Well, that's one of the big advantages of the type of liposuction that we perform is we don't use any general anesthesia or heavy narcotics or medication for the procedure. Everything is done using a technique called tumescent local anesthetic or tumescent liposuction. And so that really has a huge advantage. It makes it much more accessible for a lot of patients.
And now your four-step procedure actually has a name. It's called QuattroSculpt. And can you tell us a little bit about the 4 steps that you go through in order to ensure people's success?
There are 4 stages. The first stage involves the tumescent anesthesia portion. It's a mixture of lidocaine and saline we use and we gently infuse it underneath the skin where it bathes and numbs the connective tissues associated with the fat cells. It also plumps up the fat cells as well, makes them accessible for the next stage. It shrinks the surrounding blood vessels so that it's pretty much a bloodless procedure. And it also is bacteriostatic, which means that bacteria will have a hard time growing in this media that we use. So there's a lot of advantages using this tumescent technique. It allows us to allows the patient to be awake. We can communicate with the patient is mobile, and that's a huge advantage when it comes to body sculpting. So the next stage involves using ultrasound, specially formulated titanium rods, to gently emulsify, dislodge the fat cells in the subcutaneous area that were previously pre-treated with the tumescent stage, and that also smooths out the area, it tightens the skin, and it gets it ready for the third stage. Third stage involves gently removing that emulsified and dislodged fat, and that's really the part where we spend a lot of time carefully sculpting the patient and really getting it as smooth and natural looking as possible. So that third stage is really a very critical stage as well.
Now the 4th stage involves the venous freeze, which we just talked about. How do you tie the venous freeze into your 4-step QuattroSculpt program?
Stage 4 is doing skin tightening, but it's doing the skin tightening from outside in. So we complement the two by approximately 4 to 6 weeks after the procedure. You come in for several sessions of venous freeze, usually six treatments, to give you that final smooth, tight appearance. And we believe that you're going to get the smoothest and tightest result with the least amount of invasiveness and therefore the least amount of impact to your lifestyle using this approach.
The reason why I decided to get liposuction was because although I work out, I try to stay fit and I eat well, I still had problem areas that I wanted to target. There was no downtime for me. I actually got to drive myself home, and I felt very good once I got home. I was able to take Tylenol for the pain and soreness. It just felt like a hard workout, just a little bit of soreness, and then that was it.
And what about an ideal candidate? What's an ideal candidate?
The ideal candidate would be ideal body weight, someone who exercises, has a pretty decent diet. When you're in great shape, it gives you the optimal results in terms of healing, but also in terms of expectations of skin tightness and things like that. If they have any concerns about any irregularities or imperfections on their body, from their skin to the shape, then they're a candidate to visit one of our body management centers.